Let's go!
Seemingly a new Tekken trailer every week, and of course, after Paul, who comes next? It's Law, 100%. I'm pretty sure we confirmed this is martial law, right? I could barely tell you the differences between martial and forest. However, I wouldn't be surprised if they consolidate some of that stuff in the same way that they're consolidating some Devil Jin moves, as well as Heihachi moves, into Kazuya and Jin, where it seems like they're just absorbing a bit of those other characters' playstyles in some way. That's what I'm kind of curious about, if we could try to figure that out. If they're sticking a bit of like forest moves into martial, if that's how it's kind of moving now, where it's like, oh, maybe we're not going to get both characters like a Tekken tag situation. Maybe, just maybe. And of course, thank you devs, right? Thank you Bandai Namco, and thank you Capcom for releasing your trailers in 4K. Thank you. This is a thing that should not have to be a request that content creators and everybody has to make, but I'm going to tell you right now, your crazy high fidelity, ridiculously detailed, and splendorous particle affected games do not look great at 1080p bitrate. They really don't. They look much better at 4K. So yeah, my impressions of Law in the past is that he always kicks my ass. I hate this character. He always kicks my ass.
Get ready for the next battle. Tekken 8. New challenger.
Come and get some. I dare you.
Martial law.
When's the last time Law spoke in English? I'm sorry, I interrupted the trailer. When's the last time he spoke in English? Was it tag? Does he actually talk in English in Tekken 7? That he really did? I just remember, like, that's almost all I remember about him talking. Huh, he does. Shit. I mean, I get it. He's supposed to be like Bruce Lee. Holy crap, is he animated? I'm gonna stop pausing the goddamn trailer. That's what I thought it was. Interesting. What the hell? Was that a physical counter into nunchucks? Stop! Stop it! You're gonna die! Stop it! Jeez, okay. I'm gonna stop pausing the trailer. I have so many things to say. He looks, most of his animations are the same moves, but they look way different. Like, they reanimated most of his attacks. That's okay. He's got more Bruce Lee-isms than Bruce Lee even had. Yeah, Super's okay. It's okay. But yeah, the Bruce Lee, like, focusing classic where he's like, "Argh!" and he's like leaving his insanely like juiced state of being. This moment. Remember, this is a cursed face. This is all cursed. Remember, there was a very brief moment like a year ago where somebody said that the Bruce Lee estate did not want their like Bruce Lee's likeness used in anything anymore, right? And then this happens. Right? And then this happens where it's like they go in so hard, like they almost heard that and were like, hey, go to hell. You know what? You go to hell. Watch this. More Bruce Lee than ever.
8. New
Damn. The lighting is starting to look a little bit better.
challenger.
Come and get some. I dare you.
Why don't I remember Law talking in English? I mean, it makes perfect sense because he's Bruce Lee. Like, he's literally like American, right? It makes perfect sense. He has like a dojo in America and everything like that. Because you skip intros? That's a good point. That's a good point.
Martial law.
Shit, dude. Bandai Namco is entering NRS levels of character, facial, and mocap performance, right? It's weird that I thought it would have been Street Fighter, but it's weird that Tekken 8 is a bit closer to like inching on like realistic looking character facial models than even Street Fighter is now. Like, it's funny. Right? They're still stylized for sure, right? This looks a lot like less realistic than like Liu Kang does, right? Liu Kang just looks like a real person in Mortal Kombat 11. This doesn't look like a real person, but it's getting there, right? We are definitely getting closer to as close to reality visuals that some of these Japanese developers kind of strayed away from for a very long time, you know? So this is what I was looking for, right? Like, he just has launchers that are like maybe like a down forward 2 that is just a nunchuck. Like, he just uses nunchucks in some of his attacks. And that's badass. That's good. Because Paul didn't use nothing. Paul just used his fists. Yo, what? Was this a physical counter? More nunchuck stuff, right? It is a physical counter. Yeah, he has like a physical counter into crazy nunchuck bullshit. So this is like the even more confirmation of wall bound, right? Like, you get the bound camera, or I'm sorry, the bound / screw camera. All this shit. Yeah, look at this. This is like a screw hit, you know, like a screw attack. Now you get proper wall bounds, you know? Sick. This shit. Wait a minute. Fuck. Hold on a second. That's making me uncomfortable. Give the guy a goddamn cheeseburger. Hang on a second. He's so buff. Let's just 25%. Get ready to get afraid. Get ready to get afraid. Is the vascularity is obviously changing, which is a textural thing, right? That's just like a texture writing over a texture with some like transparency, I'm guessing. Oh no, look at the actual fidelity of the muscle itself. Like, watch his bicep and shit as it does some Street Fighter stuff. It gets bigger. Pump. Like, pump. Yeah, no, there's definitely like a wrapping of the skin around the goddamn muscle. It's a bit much here, right? I think this goes a bit too far. It's horrifying looking, right? This makes you uncomfortable. Horrifying looking. He's a walking ghost. Like, holy shit. His face even gets red. It kind of does. What the hell? It kind of does, man, because he's holding it. What the hell? It kind of does. That's some attention to detail. That's why you're not going to get, like, you know, a 30 character roster in Tekken 8, you know, or even Street Fighter 6. They got to worry about not just making the front of the character. They got to make the first layer of the character, and then the second and third and fourth and fifth layer underneath all that, right? And then you got to like render their backstory. and then you got to render their family lineage in order, and then you got to figure out, like, eventually we're going to get to DNA, where it's like, okay, so we got to, like, render out their chromosomes now to make them look a certain way. So, you know, it's just going to take us a year to put out a single character. I'm sorry, we actually have to wait for our digital character to grow. Like, the characters naturally mature from like for about 9 months to 12 months. Okay, it's faster than normal humans. We can get Law to look like this, but it's gonna take, you know, 9 to 12 months of virtual maturity for our character to get to that point. So just give it some time. All right, we're gonna have to render all this shit out. Just give it some time. So wait, that's heat activation after a counter hit? What is that? He, like, does something. Oh, it's counter hit 1-inch punch, and then he can heat activate, stop time, literally V-trigger activate. Like, I got the hit, V-trigger activate into bound, into Tekken 6 style bound, into flip kick screw attack, into ender. Good lord. How much damage is that shit gonna do? Right? How much damage is that shit? There's a good example. I think we've seen a few examples like this in the past. What's interesting about it is it starts from a normal attack, right? The interesting part is that if you recognize the counter hit situation, right? I got the counter hit. It has happened. Now I'm going to pop my bullshit. Here's one part of the combo down, another part of the combo down, and here's the finale. And you don't even get, like, there might even be a wall bound there too. Who knows? Or, you know, a stage transition, something like that. So that's like a heat ender, right? That's the thing that we were talking about, or the devs were talking about. Characters have these really specific, like, heat move activation and enders. And all of this stuff includes nunchucks, which is great. And there that is. You know what? They're doing a really good job. It almost sounds like somebody is hitting drums when these characters are landing. Like, there's a really bassy sound. Bam! Like, you hear that? It almost sounds like a snare drum or something like that in the background, like getting smacked. So, boom! Like it's like a balloon popping or some shit. Boom. Yeah, there's some good shit, right? There's some really good sound effects that are kind of like, I've always said some of the best games are have combos that give you really good, like, visual to audio feedback, where the combo itself, obviously a lot of it's rhythm based, you know, so it naturally elicits like a musical sort of feel whenever you're doing combos in fighting games. But the ones that have, like, really pronounced audio to them always feel good to land, right? Like, power of the, like, when characters say shit. Killer Instinct did it really well. I think classic KI, 1994 KI, where you didn't hear the impact very much. You didn't hear your character attacking very much. What did you hear? You hear that, which is the character taking a hit. They go and you hear that over and over, and it leads to this big thing that sounds like a musical orchestra of the character getting their ass kicked, you know? And that's only that way in classic KI. I'm a scat man. I think the enders, I think some of the supers, the rage arts are a little hit or miss, right? I think they're just a little hit or miss. This is about just as good as Paul's, right? About just as good. And still, Jin's is like a little bit better, just a little bit. I think it's like this is like a 5, right? And Jin's is maybe a 6, but then Kazuya is like a 9 out of 10 or something like that. I want to slow it down. Hold on a second. I want to see it in all its very slow splendor. Frame by frame analysis. I like how much characters are emoting in this game, right? I want to see a lot of pain in the receiving end. Want to see a lot of like passion from the characters themselves that are attacking, right? I want to see that stuff. I want to see all the expressions and shit. And there it is. And there it is. There it is. I just want to see Paul smile. That's all I want. Everyone just wants to see Paul smile. The cameraman! Leave him alone! Leave the cameraman alone! What is wrong with these characters?